Hello guys, my name is Sherif and today I'll show you how to create a DNS server. To create a DNS server, first of all, you need a host name, a fully qualified domain name. So to verify my host name, I just run the command host name. And as you can see, my host name is class.example.local. So my domain name is example.local. That means every computer or every server, every machine on my subnet or on my network should have the same domain name. So it can be like something dot example dot local. So the next thing is to vim to host and put your IP address. You have to put your IP address space your host name space the alias, like that, and you save the file and you go to etc resolve.conf. So you put example.local and name server. The name server is the IP address of the DNS server, and you save it. So to install the DNS packages, we run the command yum install bind or -y. Okay, it's done. So I run the command check config named on. Name is the daemon for the DNS server in Red Hat. So check config name --/ to verify it's on. So the next thing I will do is to modify the configuration file, which is located in /etc/name.conf. So at the beginning of the file, you will see listing on. So port 53, and you put the IP address of your DNS server. So that 3.2, and don't forget the semicolon at the end. This line you can comment it. It's for IPA version 6. You can comment it. And allow query. Just put any. That means anybody can access this DNS server. And that's it. And you save the file. And we have to modify the second file, which is named that rfc9012.zones. Yeah, in this file here, the first zone, we modify it and we put our domain name, which is example.local. And this file is the forward zone. So forward zone file, so it can be any name. So I just name it forward.zone. And we need to do the reverse one too. Here, which is say zone, and they put the local IP address in the reverse order. You change it to your subnet. So my subnet is 3.68.192. You put your subnet in reverse order, and the file name for the reverse, I just put reverse.zone. And again, the names can be anything, the file names can be anything. So I just save it. Now I cd to /var name. I do ll. In this directory we have two files, name.localhost and name.loopback. They are the sample of reverse.zone file and forward.zone file. So I just copy name.localhost forward.zone, and I'll do the same thing for loopback, reverse.zone. And now I'll change the group membership for those two files I just created, forward.zone and reverse.zone. So I do ll to verify it. As you can see, the forward zone file group membership has changed to name. It was root before. Same thing for reverse. So I just changed the group membership. So now I'll vim to the forward zone and put some modification. So here I'll put the host name for the DNS server, which is class.example.local, and here I'll put the host master email. In my case it's root, so I just put root.example.local. Don't forget the dot at the end here, this dot, don't forget it. The same thing here, don't forget the dot. So the serial number, every time you modify this file you have to increment it. So let's just increment it and put it 1, but usually it's the date. You can just put the date, the month, and the day, and you put a serial number like this, but to simplify just put 1. Okay, here the ns mean name server. The name server is the host name of the machine, so I'll put class.example.local. Always put the dot at the end, and don't forget the @ sign here and in ns. So the a means if you put the host name, it will give you the IP address. So I'll just put the name of the machine in a, and I'll put the real IP address of that machine. So 168.3.2. Here you can delete it. It's for IP version 6. You can just delete it, this line, or comment it if you want. So I'll just delete it and save the file. So I'll open the reverse.zone file and I'll do the same thing. So I'll put the host name of my DNS server and the host master .example.local, and again I'll change the serial number, and here ns means name server, so I'll put class.example.local. in. So same thing here, I'll put class and I'll put the IP address of the server 168.3.2, and don't forget the in here. Just delete this line, and the PTR means if you put the IP address, it will give you the host name, it will resolve the host name. So I just put here, I'll put the host name class.example.local, and here you put the last digit of the IP address, and in my case it's 2. You put the last digit, and that's it, and I'll save it. So to check if my configuration file is okay, I'll run the command name check configuration check conf, and I'll specify the configuration file name .conf. Okay, that's okay. And now I'll check the zone files, the forward zone and the reverse zone. Check zone, and I'll put the domain name, which is example.local, and now I'll specify the forward zone file. So if you see okay here, that's mean everything is correct, everything is okay. So I'll do the same thing for the reverse as well. Yeah, everything is correct. So now let's open the port 53. Port 53 is the port for the DNS server. So I'll open the port 53 -m TCP -p TCP 53 -j accept. Oh, -g port, sorry, -g port 53 accept. And I'll open the protocol UDP. So I'll open TCP and now I'll open UDP. I'll save it. Save iptable save and restart it. Restart iptable service. Okay, that's fine. And now I'll restart the name service. Restart. Okay, there we go. Now to see if the DNS server is working, I just do ns lookup and I put the host name to see if you give me the IP address. Example.local. Yep, it's working. See, name, and you give me the address. Now let's do the reverse. Let's put the IP address and see if you give me the host name. Yep, it's working too. So gave me the host name. So this is how you can create a DNS server. So if you add a new machine or a new server on your subnet, you need to go back to forward.zone file and add the information of the new machine on your subnet. So let's say I have a second machine here, class 2. So let's see what is the IP address. If config HA0 is that 3. Okay, let me see the host name. Like I told you, the host name should be something that example.local. The domain name should be the same for all the machine, all the servers. So I'll open the file etc host, yep, and put the entry here. You put the IP address, the host name, and the alias. You save it and vim etc result.conf. Search, you put the domain name, and the name server, you put the IP address of the DNS server. Now I'll make sure that the DNS for HA0 is 3.2 here. Primary DNS server, you put the IP address of the DNS server and you save it. I'll do this, I'll verify here, and it's the same thing. Primary DNS, you put the IP address of the DNS server here. Okay, so my second machine is okay. So let's go back to the DNS server and modify the forward zone. So here I'll just copy one line and paste it and change the name to class 2, the example.local. I'll do the same thing for the second line and change the name to class 2 and put the real IP address 33, and don't forget to change the serial number. I'll save it. So I'll do the same thing for the reverse. So I'll just copy this line and paste it and change the host name. Same thing for this line, paste it, class 2, and I'll put the real IP address. And for PTR, you do the same thing, and here you put the last digit of the IP address, and here I'll change the host name, and don't forget to increment the serial number. I'll save it, and now I'll restart the service name. Every time you change the configuration file of any software in Linux, you have to restart the service. So I'll just restart it, and let's check if the configuration file is okay. Check zone example.local, and I'll specify yep, it's okay, and I'll do the same thing for the reverse to see if everything's okay. Yep, it's okay. So now let's see if the new machine that I just added is working. Example.local. Yep, it just give me the address, the IP address. And now let's do the reverse. Yeah, it gave me the host name. Now to verify it again, let's just go back to the class 2 server and do the ns lookup. I'll put class.example.local. Yep, it's working. Let me do it for the class 2. It's working too. Now let's do the reverse. That 168.3.3 is working, and that 2, yep, it's working. So everything is fine. So this is how you can create a DNS server, add a new machine on the forward and reverse zone file. One last thing, let's assume that our class 2 server is used for FTP server or email server or HTTP server. So you can use this, and you can put the alias here. So at the end, I just put at the new line end. So let's say it's FTP server, right? In put cname. Cname means alias or canonical name. So I will specify the name. So that means the class 2 server is the same time our FTP server. So I just put it like that, FTP in cname. I'll put the name of the machine. So and save it and restart the service name restart. So let's do ns lookup to ftp.example.local. Yep, it's working. So it just gave us, see, the canonical name, give us the real host name and his IP address. So this is how we can create a DNS server and add a new machine to the zone files. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Bye.